Welcome to the Tester Room, where three of the gaming industry's best consultants to never consult on a game bring fun, new topics each and every week. I am Preston, aka the Funkadelic Jedi.
I'm Christian, aka Pseudo45.
I'm Zach, aka Bummbus.
Bummbus.
The Destiny Godfather.
Yes, our Sherpa into many Destiny.
That's
events.
right, baby. That's right.
Came through. Yep. So Alex is still out in Japan, and so we have another the episodes. So we're doing it side quest right now.
Side quests. That's what it's called so far. Yeah.
So we decided to bring our friend Bummbus on. What's going on, man?
That's a good name. Going pretty good, guys.
Yeah. I tried
So
to
Preston, do you want to
comment corner?
Right?
I didn't see any comments on the YouTubes. I didn't see any emails come in. Does anybody have a comment they've heard or anything they want to say about the last episode, or they want to go back on or come back with, or no? And comment corner is over. We are good to go. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of something off the top of my head for comment corner. I just didn't have anything. Nothing arose, so we don't have to worry about it. But it's fine. But no, yeah, nothing. It happens. That's okay. But yeah, I was just going right past comment corner, and since I don't care about talking about sports right now, well, what kind of games are you guys playing? Zach, let's talk to us about your games. We know you, but the people don't know you. Like, what games do you play? What games are you playing? Like, what games do you play? Yeah.
So as the fellers have mentioned here, I am a hopeless Destiny 2 addict.
Like it.
So that is my main game.
You play that probably as much as I play 14.
Oh, absolutely. Now, unlike you, though, I have not dipped into 14, while you double dip between 14 and Destiny. That is crazy. To me, that is wild.
He plays a lot.
Because I know I couldn't make time to do both. It's one or the other for me. But anyway, in terms of games I have played lately, before I get into Destiny, I'll say I am almost done with Jedi Survivor.
It's good. Liking it?
It's good. It's good. Been playing on my PS5 for the most part. Performance for the game has been good.
Oh, so you haven't run
There's a couple instances of like screen tearing and like some frame rate drops, but it's still playable. You know, it is a really good standard AAA game that I would recommend if you enjoyed Fallen Order. And the other game I played besides Destiny is I finally picked it up. I picked up Tears of the Kingdom. So I'm only I got past the title sequence, you know, the really cool, like, all right, yeah, here's the prologue, but now you're like diving off of that like cliff, and it's just the title sequence with the music. That's where I'm at. I can't wait to dive into it. I want to finish Jedi Survivor before I commit to Zelda. And then, of course, Destiny, new season launched just last week, Season of the Deep. So far, so cool. Me and Christian actually did a blind run. We didn't finish the new dungeon, but we did him and I did a blind run on the new dungeon, Ghosts of the Deep. Okay. Which, from what I can tell, you would hate it because it involves submerging deep into
no thank you. I'd say now I get the title. Nope, I'm good.
I was gonna message you, and then
just jump in real quick, Preston.
When Zach sent me the trailer, I was like, oh, never mind, he's gonna hate this. And then when we got in, there was a point where, so it was like right after one of the first, like what they call like the first boss encounter, and they open with that. So like Zach and I got through that, and then it basically is just like, hey, go down. Like, and you just start descending, and then there's a certain part where you get below you are on what would be like the ocean floor, essentially. Okay. And it is just nothing but water all around. And I was like, nah, that'd be where Preston would say
anything can come out of there at any time. I'm not fucking around with that. No. No.
Yeah.
Which I will say, so far, very good dungeon. We haven't finished it yet because we got to the second encounter, which is a boss, and he has like 1 million hit points. Like, it is
really,
it was way more than and so I think part of it might be, I don't know if it's like I'll have to have Zach look at some of the weapons that I might be able to bring and tell me what is better and what I should do, because man, at the end of our last try where we like really gave it a thing, it was like I did 3.8 million damage, and Zach had done 6.9. And even then, it was like we still had like maybe like a third of his thing left. Like it was, it was numbers that I've never seen in that game.
Talk about Bullet Sponge, yeah.
It's a raid boss with raid like with raid health, but for like a dungeon that is designed to be either soloable or up to 3 people. And
just one night thing. Yeah.
I imagine I do want to solo this dungeon. Eventually, I've soloed all of the dungeons in the game. I want to solo this one, but I'm not looking forward to it because we haven't even gotten to the third boss, so we don't even know what the third encounter is for these dungeons. So maybe the third boss has less health, maybe it has more health. Don't know. We'll find out. But it is a grind. That fight, it's cool though. Like I mean, Christian and I learned the mechanics pretty quickly, and it's really cool. Like, and of course, there's just go on.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, it's a really well designed dungeon, and like the encounter is very like everyone's doing something. Because some of the dungeons, some of the in-game content, it's like, oh yeah, all right, I'm doing this one thing, you're doing ad clear, let's just get through. This one's like, okay, like Christian's doing like he's doing like the reading mechanic, and I'm like trying my best to clear ads, and I'm just getting swarmed on all sides. But
that is where that game is at its best. I like the parts of you and I going and like trying to figure out mechanics as we're going through, or looking for like the extras like inside the dungeon, like the audio logs essentially, and like trying to figure out where they're hiding them, and then go through. And then when we had we found a good portion, we only missed 2 so far in our time through it, and we're pretty sure we know where those 2 are. And so it's funny now that we have to go back through it, we'll definitely be able to confirm a couple of those spots.
We'll find
those. But it's figuring out those mechanics, because that in that second encounter there was multiple times where we were like, we're missing something, like there's something going on and we don't understand it. And then it was like, maybe we have to like be underneath in this water area and like trying to look for stuff. And when it's figuring it out it was really, really fun. It was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's like the closest to like a day 1 raid experience you can get, where you're like, it's fresh, you don't know what's going on, you're figuring it out, you're exploring, you're finding all the secret stuff. That's the best part about that game. That's the best part about that game.
I love doing that with that first raid for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's been those 3 lately. I'm, like I said, once I finish Jedi Survivor, I'm going to do as much Zelda as I can until Final Fantasy 16 comes out in a month. Because that is sooner than later, and I know we're gonna blink and it's gonna be there, and then I'm gonna just drop everything and play 16. No, it's June. It's like June. Oh, really? It's end of June. It's like last week of June or something.
Next month, guys.
So
I know.
On like what, Diablo came out today?
No, Street Fighter comes out on Friday, and then Diablo comes out on Tuesday.
Okay, well.
But if you buy, so the reviews went up early because if you do
pre-order,
if you pre-order the Super Gamer Edition, it comes out on the 2nd. Diablo does.
Okay, that's why. Okay, I was seeing reviews for it, I guess already. But and then System Shock Remake came out, and then I mean, too many games, guys.
I know.
Too many games. We gotta dial it back a little bit.
This year's been stacked.
Yeah, it's insane.
So far too.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I've played.
Gotcha. Okay. Chris, you want to go next?
Yeah, I can do it, because you, especially now that I know what you spent last night doing, you have way more of a game to talk about than I do.
I do.
So, Destiny with Zach, like he was talking about, new 14 patch, except I've been doing all of the stuff that Alex and I don't normally do together. So it's been really weird where I've basically... all of it, he wanted me to save story and then the new raids that came out with him. And so I was like, that's fine, I'll just do all the other stuff. And so I've basically all of the tedious grindy parts that I've already blown through those. So now whenever he gets back, I can just hop on and we can knock out the fun stuff, and then I'll be good to go there.
Get into the meat of it. Get into the meat of it.
Yeah. And then just more Trails to Azure and Zelda. That's it.
Okay.
doing the same stuff. Waiting for Street Fighter 6. I'm very excited for that game. I'm also, it'll be interesting. So I got it on PC, which is my first time getting.
Oh.
I usually always get all of them. Well, it's crossplay, so it'll be fine. But the reason that I'm worried is, so the way that my office is set up now, there is not a way for me to get a Ethernet cable to the back of my machine anymore.
Fair.
So I will be a Wi-Fi warrior for Street Fighter 6. And I did the last beta I was on, and I got matches in, and it was rock solid. I had zero issues.
Same with my Wi-Fi.
I didn't get any messages. So with the rollback, plus now that I have Wi-Fi 6 and I've been perfect, which is not how it used to be for fighting games at all. But now they just released today that they're going to have a Wi-Fi symbol next to your name if you're on Wi-Fi. And so I'm worried that people are going to be like,
yo,
no, I'm not matching with you.
They can just call you out. They can just call you out.
Drop.
Yeah.
Every time.
So,
just buy a long cable, pleb.
I know. Yeah. Well, I'd have to buy, and then it would drag across the floor, and then Alexa would just come up with a pair of scissors and be like, nope.
Yep.
That's why you staple it to the top of the walls, so that way she can't reach up there.
Oh, yeah. She definitely wouldn't get a step stool and just...
Yeah.
But no, that's it. That's literally all. I'm looking forward to those games that are coming out, and it'll be fun. But I'm still just playing the same stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's a giant game that the likes of which I don't think is probably even bigger than Elden Ring from what I've played so far as Zelda is concerned. And then the other one is a giant long JRPG. So
not to mention all the shit you got coming out this month.
When I finish those, plus all the other stuff.
Yeah. We'll see you in 2 years.
I know.
No, Christian, you be done with it within the weekend. It's fine.
I've done good so far, man. I've gotten, ever since I started playing the Trails games in the middle of last year, I've gotten 7 under my belt so far. So, and that's with keeping up with all the other stuff. So it hasn't been bad.
Yeah, it took me about a full year to finish Final Fantasy 9.
It did. It took you a full year to finish Final Fantasy 9. Yeah,
that takes me a while.
It's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see how long it takes me with this other game I started this week. For starters, I still play some more Jedi Survivor here and there. I'm sorry, Christian. I'm sorry. Are you done with your week?
I am.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Jedi Survivor. I do go back into it from time to time after finishing it. I wanted to do that with the original one, The Fallen Order, but it just didn't feel normal because you felt like you're just playing the same missions. But with this one, with the hub world, you got things to do, you got other missions, things to explore, and I'm picking one spot. Like, I haven't been over there, and later on when you go through chests throughout different levels, you get items that will just unlock icons on your maps. So you'll get something that unlocks all the icons I got ones for every place that you can scan. So when BD whatever it's like goes, oh hey, I want to scan this. Now my map just shows me all those on the map. I looked. There's no trophy for it, I don't think, but thank God, because just in the hub world, I saw that, and it's just like someone took a salt shaker and just like, yeah, here's all your scannable spots. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, that happened to me when I got that upgrade. I was like, oh, I've missed so much.
I thought about I'll just go through and scan everything on Kobo and do that kind of stuff. I'm like, no, I will not.
But I did find the poncho. Have you found the poncho?
I know about the poncho, yes. You
okay,
get the poncho
all
from
right.
the original one. Yeah. I know where it's at. I just don't care to because the one I got is pretty cool. But
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been really nice. If I want the Star Wars juices, if I want that Star Wars feeling, if I want to twirl around a lightsaber and push some stormtroopers off a ledge, great game to do it with. So I just jump in there every once in a while and have some fun with it. And I've just been messing around with different the techniques that you can get. I don't want to spoil anything for Christian because he hasn't even touched it yet and he hasn't even looked at anything for it, so I don't want to mention anything about that. But it's been good. Finding scuba Stev every once in a while, it's an all nice treat as well. So love me some scuba Stev. I've been doing some snapping. Still snapping it up all day, all night on the twitch.tv/testingroompod. You can find me on Sunday mornings. I am super in there. I'm just going to do a little stream this morning, and I end up doing like a 3.5 hour stream just with a card game.
Mm-hmm. Pokemon Snap, right?
That dude, I think about that every single time I say it. Yeah. But no, yes, Marvel Snap. And I got High Evolutionary. We got High. I was saying on my stream that we were looking to get high, and then we got high during the stream. So yeah, it was good. We got high evolutionary.
Parental advisory sticker going up right now.
Yeah, we were always explicit. I always make it explicit. Trust me, just in
Can't
case.
show this to the kids.
Yeah. We start talking about furry shit. We just gotta start putting that E on everything. But yeah, it's been fun. High Evolutionary is really cool. What High Evolutionary does is he makes all the cards that you have that didn't have abilities. So I mean, they're all superheroes. I mean, Cyclops doesn't have an ability in this game. He's just a really decent power. He's an energy 2 card that does 4 power. But other than that, he doesn't really do anything. When you have High Evolutionary, you toss him on the field. If you do not use 1 energy that turn or more, he will go ahead and automatically deduct power from 2 random characters on that lane. So now he has an ability. And it goes the same for pretty much anyone who didn't have an ability, now has an ability due to this 1 card. So it's a huge meta changer. It's real fun. I'm still on Vibranium rank. I've been jumping back and forth on Vibranium to Platinum because I've been fucking up here and there and testing some stuff out. And now I'm sitting at Vibranium. I'm like, if I get close to 70, I might just hold off on playing the game until the first of the month when the new patch happens and the new ranks happen. Because they drop you down 30, rounding down. So if I go to 60, I'm getting down to 30. But if I stay in the 70s, I start at 40.
Oh.
I'm not. You describing these cards or like the moves and kind of. You sound like a Yu-Gi-Oh character explaining what he's about to do during the Saturday.
You don't understand.
That is exactly.
When I draw this card will do this to yours.
That is exactly. Yes, that's all I hear as soon as you start.
But what you don't know is I have High Evolutionary, which means that he will make this card even better.
Yami Preston.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always got trust in the heart of the cards, man. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But believe in the me that believes in you.
Yeah. The stream's been nice. I've been getting new people in here and there. One person was like, I'm like, yeah, you should check out our YouTube and a podcast. And he checks it out immediately. He's like, you got D&D on there? I'm like, yeah, buddy. I got you now, don't I? Okay, yeah, just go ahead. Subscribe, man. Just go ahead and follow us. Go ahead and do it. But yeah, it's been good. And I've just been enjoying those Sunday mornings. Feel free to join us. Wednesdays are still happening with Dark Forces. We're almost done. Tomorrow or after this recording, we will have finished Dark Forces 1. We only have, let's see, we were at 12, so we only got 2 more levels left. The last Wednesday, it was smooth sailing. We went through mission 10, mission 11. I'm like, man, I didn't even pre-look at these. I knew what I was doing. I'm like, this feels great. I get to mission 11, and I remember kind of looking through some of the guides and stuff, seeing people's videos and being like, this one's 25, this one's 30, to kind of judge how many missions I'm going to do that night. And then I see this last one, mission 12, is 11, 15 minutes. I'm like, we'll just do one more mission. I wanted to go to bed. I'm like, let's go do one more mission. This mission glitches out on me. So you're going down this spaceport, and then you get to a section to where there's a thing in the middle, and then it kind of spins around when you press a button. You gotta press certain buttons to make it spin, but it goes really slow. So you're sitting there waiting for the thing to come around to you like a bridge. You jump on it to go to another section, to go up, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So I'm sitting there just waiting for the fucking thing to come around. You mess up the first time, so you gotta wait twice. And then I get all the way to the later section of it, because you pretty much go to the end, press a button, go back to the beginning, you're done. Get to the very end, press that button. I don't know what to do. I'm like, well, it moved this one thing. I don't know what the fuck that does because this game doesn't tell you anything. I'm like, well, I got to a point where I'm looking around, kind of figuring, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So I just say, hold on, let's pause the game. I'm going to look it up real quick to see what this guy does because it's only an 11-minute long video. Let me just scroll to the end. He just goes back to the very beginning. I'm like, okay, we'll just go back to the beginning. That door doesn't open for me at all. So I run all the way back, wait for that thing to spin around a couple more times, just to find out that I pressed the button to the right point, and that for some reason that door is just glitched out and wasn't opening.
Weird.
I cleared out everyone who could be cleared out that wasn't automatically respawning. I got all the keys and everything like that. I combed that level. And
looks like, start from the beginning.
Yeah, I must start that level. Yes, yeah, I'm gonna do it all over again. Luckily, it's 11-minute level. I'm like, I said at the end of the thing, we're gonna speed run this level next time because we know all about this fucking level now. And I'm just gonna fucking beeline it, hit that button, wait for the thing to turn around while I kill people, and we'll be good to go. We'll do this and we'll speed run this level.
You're better than me because if I had done all that in the level, I'd be like, well, I'm gonna look up what the password is for the level skip. And
so we do have that.
Go to the next one.
We have that on hand, but I saw it was so simple. You go to the end, you press a button, it switches hallways to the beginning level's door, and then you're fine and you're done. But for some reason, this door just doesn't open for me. Yeah, it was bullshit, but it's fine. The YouTube that's going up later on this week, I did some funny little edits when I go, God damn, I gotta wait. I put the little 1 moment later thing from SpongeBob. When I'm trying to figure out some other thing, I put the whole this guy stinks from SpongeBob. And at the very end, when I finally, like, I go all the way back again and come back to the very beginning, I'm like, okay, God, please let this door open. I hit the door button and it doesn't open. And then I put the little section from a little snip from Wedding Singer when he was doing that song on stage in front of Drew Barrymore, like screaming about how he wants to die and someone needs to kill him, please. Yeah, I put that little in there because that's what I felt. It was horrible.
That's pretty good.
It's like,
pretty good.
I'm fun with those. So.
I will check a look.
Yeah, feel free. And feel free to join us on Wednesdays. I will be trying to, so far, we're going to continue doing them. I may switch the day because no one shows up on Wednesdays. I think people just like don't want to watch stuff on Wednesdays or whatever. Who knows? So I may do it for a night that is, or maybe like a Tuesday to where I'm off work. Maybe like during the day or something like that. But I do want to do all of the Dark Forces games. So all the Dark Forces / Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of go through those.
Those are classics.
Most of them have level skips, so if we need to, we can skip levels just to have fun with it. Just kind of experience them. But that's going to be my kind of like the main streamer outside of Snap. And then I started a new game. I started my first Fire Emblem game.
Which one?
I started Awakening on the 3DS.
Oh, I haven't played that one.
Yeah, I played that one. I haven't played any of them.
I haven't played that one. But I will go up to bat for Three Houses any day of the week.
So yeah, I hear everything about Three Houses. Yeah. So I hear that one I would like a lot too because it's very Persona-like as far as like its social links and stuff like that. So, but this one is I've never played a Fire Emblem. I don't really think I've ever played a game that had that kind of combat either. What would you consider that combat? Like, that would be tile?
It's like a tactics. Yeah, okay. Tactics. Yeah.
To me, you're supposed to be a tactician. Like, oh, he's such a good tactician. He tells us where to go and do stuff. But yeah, it's each chapter that you go through. You got a little bit of like a story, and then you get like a big map that shows like the enemies and your team that you got, and then you kind of essentially take down that team or get to where you need to go, and then you get a little bit more story, and then it's the next chapter, and rinse and repeat. And it's kind of like an overworld of a continent that you kind of go to different points. Those points can turn into shops.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been. I was worried that the combat would have turned me off, but I don't hate it. It's doing pretty good, and I'm not beating my head against the wall. I'm definitely going on like the casual normal mode to where it's like deaths aren't permanent. And then I think the difficulties were like normal, hard, and then I forget like what the other one was, like hardcore, something like that. And it was like
probably like maddening, maybe. At least Three Houses has like, I think it's like normal and hard.
Yeah.
And I think it's maddening.
One more
sure,
that's supposed to be like so super insanely hard.
I don't know how it is in Awakening, but I know in Three Houses, normal is almost too easy.
Well, see, that was the funny thing to me is that there's no easy. So like normal, it says normal is for beginners. I'm like, okay, well that's me. And then the next one that's hard is like for people who have played a Fire Emblem game. I'm like, Jesus, and not even just people who have are really good at the game. Like you just want them to play hard. Like hard to them is normal, essentially in my head as far as their descriptions. But yeah, the story is kind of odd. It's one of those things to where like you're a character who has amnesia, so you don't really know what's going on. And they start off with, oh, this is the final battle, and this guy's talking to you, and he's like some warrior prince, and that's kind of your tutorial how to play. Like, here's how you move, here's how you attack. You know how to play Fire Emblem now, and then we'll kind of give you the rest, like the more details of like the rock paper scissors of the game, like how you use items stuff like that later on. But yeah, you're fighting some very evil looking guy, and then you're fighting him, and he's down, but then he shoots a fireball at the last minute at the I guess the protagonist, like your prince warrior. And you push him out of the way and you get hit. And then all of a sudden you start like seeing red and you wake up in like a field with that protagonist guy going, hey, sir, you shouldn't be, there's better places to take naps. He doesn't recognize you. You know kind of who he is. You know his name, but you don't know what he is. And his sister's there. And it's this whole thing of like, well, you can come to town with us, I guess. You seem all right. You're not trying to kill us. And now we're just kind of, it's world building while I'm in it now and kind of slowly giving you pieces of what's going on as far as who you might have been and what might have transpired. Because that whole like final battle at the very beginning, it's like, oh, we're going to take him down no matter what, Destiny. And the bad guy's going like, oh, you can't change what's already written in time. And like, all right, okay, there's going to be weird.
Very
like,
anime.
Yeah, we're jumping around timelines and who God knows what the fuck's going on here. So I'll find out. been doing some normal battles. The magic system's kind of funny, fun. It's just normal, like you get a fire, you get a wind, you get that kind of thing. It looks like it has different names to kind of upgrade it after that point. But yeah, I haven't been hating. I've been liking it, and the characters are very anime. The cutscenes are pretty fucking good. They got like 2 layers of cutscenes. You got like your in-game model cutscenes, the one that you see actual battle, like when you go up against 2 guys, they pops you into a battle and you actually see those like actual character models. Those are the ones like for like your starter cutscenes, and then the real nice cutscenes that you see like in the trailers and stuff like that, to where it's kind of 3D anime kind of look to it. It's very good. I'm enjoying it a lot. And there's some weird giant eyeball in the sky that pooped out zombie dudes. I don't know.
What system was that on? Was that
3DS?
3DS.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm currently borrowing Christian's 3DS. It's working well.
Hell yeah.
Christian, does that little pen coming out the bottom drive you fucking nuts? Okay, because like the pen just comes out just a little bit, like just ever so slightly. It doesn't fall out.
There's times where if I was holding my 3DS,
my pinky goes there.
Yep, so my pinky goes to hold it right up, and I just go, yep, that's just going to sit there because it bothers me so much.
That fucked me today because I forgot that the power button's down there too. So I'm in the middle of a battle.
So you press the sleep? Yeah.
In the middle of battle.
Just in the middle of a very intense battle.
Which I had to start all over again because it knocked me out of the game.
Oh, it didn't suspend it or something? Oh.
Something happened because I accidentally pressed it. I'm like, wait, what? No. And I'm like, no. Like, how do I get out of this? Like, because it's doing the whole like sleep mode. This is what will happen in sleep mode. Here, press the complete power off if you want. Or press home to go to home screen. I'm like, I can't go back to the game anyway. I'm like, fuck. Which I probably could have just closed it and opened it back up. But I didn't think about that. So I accidentally hit the home button thinking I can just go into the home screen and click on the game again. And it just relaunched the game. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, dude, that's late because the 3DS is supposed to be a lot of those games have like a sleep mode thing where you can just like close it and then go right back into it.
So I can, but my finger accidentally tapped the power button. It was like holding on to it, I think.
Yeah.
So I think since I didn't close it, it didn't go into sleep mode. It just had the screen for sleep mode, and I'd fucked it up some. Either way, I messed up, and I had to redo a battle. But it wasn't bad. I knew what to do at the beginning of that battle. I did a lot better towards the middle half. That I lost. So.
It's not save scumming. It's not save scumming.
Right, yeah.
No, yeah.
But yeah, the game's been interesting. I'm enjoying what I'm getting the story so far. Very Games of Thrones as far as like houses and who's fighting each other. That seems to be just the kind of the shtick of Fire Emblem. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'll keep sticking with it. It's nice because I just had that JRPG itch, man. Christian, I'm sure you know about too, Zach. It's just like I just want something like that, and it was nice because Summer Games Done Quick is happening right now, so I just toss Games Done Quick on that screen right there, and I just whip out the 3DS. Ted sits on me with the recliner. We're chilling out. It's 10 o'clock at night. Maybe got some apples there with me. Who knows? And it's just having a good time. So yeah, I'm loving it. And take it back to my bed when I'm ready if I want to. Yeah, it's just I'm back into that. Like I haven't had a portable game for a long time outside. Like you get the Switch, but like I don't know. Switch is big, and for some reason the Vita and the 3DS just feel better as far as like going to like a bed or going to like sit down or lay down somewhere, or then the Switch has become a bigger honky thing. But yeah, been enjoying it. Jake loves that I'm playing it now and that we can talk about Fire Emblem on this podcast. You're welcome, Jake. That's the payment you get for helping us host a couple episodes of podcasts and doing the D&D for us.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, as I'll play a Fire Emblem for you. Other than that, nothing really else. I did watch the new episode of Ted Lasso. I don't usually talk about shows while I'm in the middle of them, but I will say, and Christian, I don't know if you've caught up, and Zach, I don't know if you watch at all. Do you watch Ted Lasso? Okay.
I do not know. Not yet, at least. It's on the list, the ever-growing list of television shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a character in there. There's a Wonderkin or whatever, Wonderkid or whatever, and like I just hate him. I hate him. Christian hates him too, and I'm like, there's no way they're gonna be able to make me feel any better.
I knew they were gonna get you.
They did it.
Yeah, nope. I'm still not there.
One thing happened. I'm not gonna say what it is, but whoever said something, that person, that actor, deserves an award. I was dying. Dude, that show got so fucking real so fucking quickly. Like, because you're laughing. Of course, you're laughing at the beginning because it's a fucking Bill Lawrence joint. So, of course, he's making it fun. And then all of a sudden, he just stabs you in the heart with some real deep shit. You're like, fuck. God damn it, he got me. I'm like, all right. Like, fucking drop the mic. You did it. Good job, buddy. You did what I fucking thought you wouldn't be able to do, is make me feel. Ted Lasso is a good show. It's a real good show.
It is a good show.
And then I think, we got like, what,
that
1 or 2 more episodes left?
Go fuck himself, though.
Yeah, that character's a piece of shit. But, everybody deserves second chances, Christian.
Pass.
Just wait till you hear what needs to be said. And
Christian, this is why I would recommend Succession to you. No one deserves second chances.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. It was a good show. Other than that, that is our weeks. Unless anybody has anything else to add, we can move on to the topic. We're bringing.
I was going to say we could plug. We always plug whenever GDQ is going on, but I think by the time this one comes out, GDQ will already be over. So
feel free to go and watch some of the replays of some of your favorite games. Some new games.
Go onto the YouTube.
Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush. They did one. Hi-Fi Rush was at 2 hours and 45 minutes. I think it was.
Yeah, and he ended up getting just 10 minutes over what the world record was.
Yeah, he got like 220, I think he did.
Yeah, it was really close. It was cool.
Yeah, it was fun. A lot of cool game-breaking bugs, like seeing him like scale mountains, and all of a sudden he's just on top of levels. He's like, yeah, we're just going to skip this entire section of this track and just drop down over here. I'm like, oh, shit, okay. Mm-hmm. Things I would have never imagined. But that's the cool thing about games done quick, man. You get to see all that weird shit. I remember every time I watch Donkey Kong Country, something fucking weird happens to where like they're on the water level. Somehow he's able to throw Diddy Kong, and they just spin throughout the entire level, just going up to the right corner, top corner. I'm like, I don't know how anyone would have even figured this one out. Like, how do you even fucking find that?
Yeah, those people who do those speed running stuff, they're on a whole other level of just like mastery of those games.
Well,
like, I cannot believe it.
I'm sorry, Christian.
No, the coolest one that I've seen so far that they've done is right in between. It was right after the Hi-Fi Rush one, but they did a Bastion one. And at first it was like labeled as I thought it was a race, and so I was like, oh, it'll just be people speedrunning Bastion, and it's like a race. I was like, okay, right on. But then it changed at some point, or they must have met an incentive or something. I'm not really sure, but what it ended up being was, hey, we want to show you how easy it is to get into speedrunning. So we're going to bring somebody in who's never speedrun a game before, and we're going to live teach them how to do it for Bastion, and then do it like on there. And the guy ended up pulling it off. He ended up finishing Bastion in like 35 minutes. With this guy who's like coaching him next to him. It was really cool to watch.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that.
I was like, there's another one you might want to watch. This was when you're done playing Jedi Survivor, there's one already for it, of course, because they were doing I think it was like Dance Revolution or some one of those games last night, like late at night. Like, I really don't feel like watching this. I'm like, while I'm kind of getting into Fire Emblem and kind of messing around with Snap, I'm like, I'll watch this one I see on YouTube, just kind of showing out to me, which was Jedi Survivor. That's like a 44-minute run.
Start to finish?
Straight up, like, you're skipping planets essentially, because it's insane. Because you're not even supposed to be able to get to the last section until like the very end of the game, but somehow they glitch through it and just I
guess that makes sense considering all of the issues that game had. Like, there must be some real
bad
bubble gum and duct tape stuff going on there that somebody can exploit.
Somehow found the final level somewhere that triggers the voices and cutscenes, and it's just that's a thing. Other than that, summer games done quick. Feel free to follow them on Twitch. They do more than just the summer. They do the winter versions, and they do a whole bunch of little small ones in between. I always keep them on my Twitch. Love seeing them. Love seeing it happen. Yeah, other than that, we'll go straight into our topic. Bringing on a topic today. Christian, what we got?
Yeah, so there was a video. So we're all in a larger Discord, and somebody had posted a video that, and I guess it was it's made by somebody on YouTube called Arash, I guess. ARRASH.
I'll put his little thing down there.
Yep. You have the link to the video in our little group chat that we had, so you can link to it. So this video popped up, and it showed it was an interesting question of, is modern gaming more lonely? Now, this in the title of this video is modern gaming is more lonely. So it sort of shows what this person's opinion was on it already. But I thought that it would be fun to have a general discussion about the topic in general on the video, but then also, some of the takes that were on the video as well. Because I don't know, in general, he goes over, so I'll sort of get some of his larger points out in the video, but originally he starts out by saying that the reason that modern gaming is more lonely is because people have stopped joining in-game chat lobbies with strangers and just only being able to use that, right, as your form of communicating, and replaced it with party chats with your friends, being in Discord with your friends, whatever it is, right? And so for somebody, if somebody does not have one of those for any sort of given game, it becomes a much more lonely experience. And then he also lists out that there are some things where he believes that like skill-based matchmaking in certain parts of it also are part of the problem. I don't agree with that, but we'll get into all of it. So here's the thing. There's one part that I agree with this video, where I think early multiplayer gaming, especially Xbox Live, because it is, he notes in the video too, like, online gaming has been a thing for a really long time, way before Xbox Live, but Xbox Live is what, like,
mainstreamed
really popularized it, right? Which I totally agree with. That is true.
Absolutely.
And those early days of everybody getting a headset that was prepackaged with their and like all that stuff, and being in some of those lobbies was an absolute, nicest way to say it is, a special time.
It was an experience.
A period in time, right?
Yeah.
But it will never be able to be replicated, right? Like there is
no shot, no way.
Yeah. And I do have a fair amount of nostalgia for it. Like I do, there is something about it. Now, there is one part though where he says that he was like, those early lobbies were not all toxic. They were mostly everybody having fun with only a few things being toxic. And I was like, I'm gonna have to push back on that one, man. Like,
don't know what games you're playing.
I think cap.
Yeah, like I think that's a lot of rose-colored glasses there, because most of those lobbies, most of the matches that you would be in, were just the worst hellscape of toxic that you could find. And then there would be random times where you would actually have a good one. You'd be like, oh man, this is great. Like, I cannot believe that I'm, you've met random people and whatever. Or you had moments with your friends, like if your friends were all on and so you guys get on, and then there's just one guy who happens to be vibing with your group of friends that's on there, and you guys all have a good time with this rando. Yeah, all that stuff is good, but most of the time it was a speed run any percent to see how quickly you could get either a racial slur or somebody taking their headset off and putting it in the hole in a speaker that was going to be playing music, and so it was just this most like garbled garbage mess of a song that was coming on.
Jamming out. Yeah.
Somebody just playing like fucking Breaking Benjamin over and over and over again.
And then like half of the lobby is just screaming like, can you please mute, guys?
You can't even hear anything with that music. Why do you have your headset on?
PTO guys, turn off the mic.
Yeah.
The other examples I have are you would hear a kid screaming in the background, and then some guy telling his wife or girlfriend to go shut that kid up. It would be, or you would get a kid whose mom came in and screamed at him in the middle of it, and you would just get to hear this whole argument.
Those
like,
are the best.
There's so many things that would happen back then that it's like, I understand if you like wanting to relive all of the good experiences that you would have had, but those good experiences were so few and far between. Like, it was mostly bad.
Yeah.
So then I guess that goes for that first part of the video. So we can just go around. So what did you, for that first chunk of the video where I was just, what are your guys' opinion on it?
Zach?
I would say, like...
Are you lonely, Zach? Are you a lonely gamer?
Am I a lonely gamer? I don't know. I like being able to, like, opt in to talking to people.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The only multiplayer game I really play is Destiny, and I I basically found my group through an LFG. Like, I just got lucky.
Yeah.
Because I definitely did not, like, I wasn't playing, like, you know, Gambit or, like, competitive Crucible and just, like, vibing with some guys in the lobby. Like, I ended up, you know, just, like, going on, like, an LFG, like, on Bungie Net.
Mm-hmm.
Because, right, as of today, they do not have in-game LFG. Now, that is supposed to be coming some point this year before the final Shape expansion. So I'm sure that'll probably help with that. But like right now, if you want to do LFG, you got to go either to, there's a Destiny Discord where they do LFG, or you go to the Bungie website for LFG. Yeah. But yeah, it was just kind of like, you know, you're kind of rolling the dice with those LFG groups though, because like Christian said, you know, you are literally getting anybody in those LFG lobbies, and it could be, you know, cool guys, or it's, you know, some guy who's like doing an 80% speed run to say a racial slur, or it's like, yeah, it's like some like kid whose like mom is screaming at him, and like I don't know, I got lucky with my group, and that's the group I play with. Now we let people in all the time, and I mean, we ran a raid with you guys. You ran with, you know, my day one guys, which these are people who live like in California or like Colorado, people I would never meet in person.
Yeah.
You know, and just so happens we play the same game and have similar interests. But before that though, I mean, yeah, nobody uses in-game chat in Destiny.
Mm-mm.
Nobody uses in-game chat. It's like rare for that to happen.
Even if somebody in that game is trying to reach out to like the story that I had talked about, like, and I've had other instances too, but it's been like somebody is either going to send a message on like through the platform, like on Xbox, or they will send like a chat invite request or whatever. But if they're gonna either say like, hey, let's match up, or, you know, whatever vile thing they have to spit out about whatever just happened. But either way, it's like that. And I think actually what you said is one of the points that I wanted to bring up too, is I think to the point he's like, you know, these days are gone, you'll never be able to meet strangers playing video games anymore. I was like, I don't know that that's true. I just think it's changed, right? And so, like, to what your example of either doing like an LFG thing, or like, for instance, the Resistance server relaunch thing that I was talking to you guys about, where there's some heroes in the UK that are doing the work to relaunch Resistance online servers, and you do this whole thing, connect to PC, but it's literally, I found it because you go to a subreddit, everybody that was in there, they all accept an invite to this Discord, and then boom, you're there playing with randos again, and you guys are doing the thing. Like, it's not, it's like you still have the ability to go do that. Like, you can go in any game that you're playing, find a particular subreddit forum, just be like, yo, I'm looking to group up with some people. I've done it with Monster Hunter before back in the day. Like, when I was the only one playing Monster Hunter, it was like, yo, I'm trying to find somebody to fight this monster with me, you know, who's in. I had random people that would join and do it, and it worked out mostly fine. Like, there's a couple times where you get some people you're like, yep, no, that's never going to happen again. But yeah, but just like you would normally. So I don't know that I even agree that it's gone forever, right? I just think that it's changed a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's definitely,
you have to search for it.
Exactly, you search for it a little harder, and then there are certain games that are more attuned to that, like. You get your MMOs, like those are meant to be more of a social experience, like where you're meeting people in the towns and stuff like that, and people get weird with you when you choose a bunny lady and stuff like that. It's just you experience different things when you play certain games. But yeah, there are definitely games that are more, like I said, tuned to having people talk. Like, for example, like when I was playing back in the day Overwatch, you wanted people to talk. Because that is like, you wanted to call out points, you wanted to, you know, talk to people about like, hey, I'm seeing you're playing this person, we really don't need another support person, can you please move over to this? Or hey, I need Mercy over here on this side, we're getting fucking pushed, and things of that nature. Like, you want to be able to call it out, otherwise you're not going to have a great time. And 9 times out of 10, I think it worked out just fine. But then there's other times to where, like, yeah, it would just be me and my friends. But nowadays, we have our Discord. I mean, like, if I want to play a game with somebody, there are enough people in our Discord, I can probably just kind of shout it out there, and one person at least may be able to be like, yeah, I'm playing that, or yeah, I'll play that, or, you know, something of that nature, to where it's a little easier to find. But you also, it's, you know, people who have a hard time finding friends, you know, if you don't have that group of friends already to kind of branch out and find more with, I can see how that'd be a more lonely gaming experience.
Yeah, and then like I said, I think the search just changes, right? Like as opposed to just being like, I hope, I meet some random people while playing Halo tonight. It's like, oh, I'll just go to the subreddit and see if there's anybody, and maybe I can meet people that way or whatever.
Instead of playing Halo, you're playing the other shooting game that your friends are playing because you want to play with games with people and talk to them. That's just, you kind of switch over.
Right, and I think, and to your point about in our specific case, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, gaming has never been more social. I have never been friends with more people that are into the same kind of games than we always talk about them or whatever than I ever have in my
past
life.
Couple of years, since COVID,
yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So then the next part of the video that he gets into is a huge chunk of it is that he thinks that part of it is there is part of the reason that people don't talk in games anymore is because of tryharding or being sweaty is what he called it. But then he said that it was the way that skill-based matchmaking works now. It makes it so that there is never a casual experience for people just to come and enjoy a game. You have to. It's always going to be putting you and making things close and doing this, and it's going to make it so that it's because of that skill-based matchmaking and always wanting to go up in ranks. It's going to make people be either only wanting to play with friends of people that they can talk to and get good with, or going to be angry and scream, whatever. And the only thing for this part of the video, I really don't even have that much to say on it, except that I still think it's really weird to complain about people being good at a video game. Like, I've never understood this whole, tryharding, and using that as an insult. And it happens a lot in, fighting games where, you'll be playing a match with somebody, and then somebody will be scrambling to get their microphone on, especially in Mortal Kombat is the one that I've experienced it in the most. But they'll be, rushing to get it on, and then they'll be like... Yeah, and you can hear it, they'll be like, okay, so we're tryharding, huh? We're tryharding? Okay, you suck. And you're just like... Rudge. Yeah, yeah. And you're just like, I'm just playing the game, man. I'm sorry that you're getting beat up on. Just a couple matches ago, I was getting beat up on. It's not that big of a deal. So
it really isn't.
Yeah, I've had a similar thing happen I've only had it happen once in Strive, but I was playing, this is back at launch, and I was playing Ramlethal, and I had somebody, I perfected them the first round, and then I got halfway through, we were fighting in the second round, I was pretty close to beating them, and then it was an immediate rage quit, and then it was a message was tryhards like you make me sick, you ruin the game for everybody, only play offline if you're really gonna play like that. And I was like, what, dude? I'm just playing the game, man. I don't know. This whole part of the video, I was just I mean, I know that people have their own misgivings about the merits of skill-based matchmaking and whether or not it actually works the way that people intended to, or if there's a better system. And that whole thing, I don't really know about. I mean, there could be a better way to do it, but I think that for right now, it's probably what we got. You want to try to get people. The idea is that you want to have people as close to the same skill level as possible, so that you're not getting smoked all the time, or you're not destroying somebody else. So I do appreciate it, but to say that I think that it's causing people to not talk to other people in game or whatever, I don't see the correlation at all. But
I would agree with that too. That skill-based matchmaking is also just a whole different topic, really, in regards to this.
But it seemed even in part of the video, it seemed like he just wanted to complain about it a little bit. And I feel like it's I don't want to sound like I'm picking on this guy, because the video was actually very well done. And it was an interesting topic. But yeah, I just was I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But
no, I mean, there's certain games that breed that kind of environment. I know Counter-Strike is big on that, as far as you better be good or get out the fuck out of my team. None of this newbie shit. I'm not here to fucking carry you through this fucking game. Kind of shit. That shit happens all the time.
Dude, I mean, there was plenty of that. Quake Champions had that. When I decided that I
remember that.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna get into Quake Champions now that I have a PC. This was a few years, and I was like, I'll get into it. I find the subreddit, and then everyone's at first when I'm like, hey, where do I start? Blah blah blah. Someone's like, oh,
you don't.
It's really cool. Just come in, just play the game. You're like, sweet. and then as soon as you're in there, everyone's like, die forever. I'll never ever. You won't learn anything. I'm gonna kill you all the time.
A pox upon your bloodline. I hope your internet is like slow forever.
Right, and you're just
get
like,
off the team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Learn the maps and don't play the fucking game.
Yeah.
If you don't have a second monitor just for the maps, get out of this lobby now.
Right. Yeah. And then it's like fighting games you have too, like, because, well, it sort of depends, right? Like, so something like Guilty Gear is really good because of their tower system, and so you can always, like, when you redo that tower initiation, it puts you right where people your same skill level are at, and you are usually right around there. And that works out great. But for games like Tekken or Street Fighter that sort of relaunch themselves sometimes over the course of their lifespan, like Street Fighter 5 specifically, like you had Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter like 5, and it was like the arcade edition, and there was like Ultimate after that, so it was like 3 times. And if you were a person who, when you saw the Ultimate Edition come out and you're like, oh man, finally a bunch of stuff that I wanted to see change, like I'll come back to the game. And there's like a dude who's been playing for 8 years since you've been gone, who's like, I've been waiting for you this entire time.
Oh, you're back.
You're like,
where are you at in the range?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're just getting juggled the entire time. You're like, I don't even know. I can't even press a button. I got nothing here.
While you were playing other games, I was studying the game.
Yes, that's exactly how it comes. Yeah.
Somebody got soft.
Right. But then, so then the final part of the video is that he brings up is that he was trying to figure out why he thinks that party chat and all this other stuff was focused on more so than just leaving in-game chat as options and what you could do. And his idea was that there was background statistics or something along those lines that made it so that change needed to happen. And as far as like usage statistics and stuff, and I was like, I don't know that I would agree with that. I think really what it was that more often than not, Xbox especially was fielding a lot of complaints every day and reports every day of all of this toxic stuff that's happening in these, and sometimes it's minor, right? Like somebody playing music over their microphone.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things that can happen on the internet, that's fairly low on the totem pole, right? But you have that as like the low end, and then the very high end obviously is the any percent of racial slurs that we're talking about.
Right, or death threats or any other like like misogynistic threats too, because there's more girls playing games these days.
Right. And so between all of those, I think what happened was it was and people were also had been asking, as much as I can remember back then, people have been asking about party chats since it came out, like, please let us just invite people to a party and have a chat by itself, because there were so many times where if you had 3, like say it was just 3 friends, right, and you guys are getting on to play, if you have to use in-game chat, there's sometimes like people are getting involved in your conversations, and you're just like, bro, I have zero desire to, you're not included in this, like the only reason I'm right. And so like, and a lot of that stuff had been solved in the PC space, either with like TeamSpeak or like Ventrilo or any of that stuff.
I saw those in the video of Ventrilo, and I'm like, man, I haven't thought about Ventrilo or TeamSpeak in a long time. Long time.
Yeah, and I was like, I had the same reaction when I saw that in the video. I saw the Ventrilo client, and I was like, fuck me.
Yeah. Forgot about that one.
Back in my day, we didn't have profile pictures.
Yeah, it took me right back to early World of Warcraft days for that stuff, where I was just like, oh my god, and like getting it installed and getting it set up and having to do all these things, like there was just so much that you were doing as whatever age you were, but like as a kid basically, that you're going through that. It is hilarious that my parents bought a computer and the things that I did to it, like, it's just
the fact that they showed you a book that's like how to use the internet, like, here, you figure out how to use it for us. I'm like, you just gave a 12-year-old access to so much.
we shouldn't have seen the things we saw.
See, I know, yeah. There's
no gates. There's no baby gates on it like there's now.
Like, the last time I was visiting home, my niece ended up asking me about Discord, and I was like, you shouldn't even know about that. I don't know who told you. I know, well,
the streamers are using it for the communities, and
I know, but she's 8, and so in my head, I'm just like,
no, you should not. Yeah, no,
you don't need to be places where you can have
talk
strangers.
Yeah,
to you.
no,
like, what are you doing? And then my sister at the time was like, well, all of her friends, they all get into a Discord again. And I'm like, shut up, no, this is not.
That's kind of one thing, but no, you're opening a whole new world to
I know, but
creepy
it's
shit.
But in the similar way, like, right, like, we were just. It's like, we didn't ask for permission. Like, we were just 12-year-olds into like doing TeamSpeak or Ventrilo, being like, I gotta talk to my friends. I don't know what you want me to do. Yeah.
Xbox, I have to use it, Mom. It's the only way I can play Halo is have that headset on.
But yeah,
or like I would play like all those like Half-Life like mods that were just like were multiplayer ones, like the Specialists or like Svin Co-op, and you're just playing with a bunch of strangers from all sorts of age groups, and they, you know, like those Xbox lobbies, it ranged. It was like the most annoying, worst people on the planet, or some cool guys here.
I was a 15-year-old, like a 15-year-old surfing in Counter-Strike, and these gentlemen were way older than I was, for sure.
Yeah. So
it feels weird being on that end too. Just like you're playing games now online. It's like, oh yeah, we're like, you know, we're all like, you know, 30 something, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm playing with people. Like, oh yeah, I just turned 17. I'm like, this is not right. I
feel like I should be. This should be legal. I shouldn't be talking to
you. Yeah. It's wild. So that was sort of my thing, is when he was talking about that part in the video, I was like, no, I just think it was people just wanting a way. And you know, and I will say, credit to where credit's due, is that there is some in the video. There are examples of like little wholesome lobby moments that he had, where it's just like, yeah, I totally remember stuff like that. I cannot get on the same page that was, you know, the majority of the time. It was like, dude, those were so few far in between back then.
Diamond in the rough.
Right. And then I think, if I remember correctly, the last part of the video is him, and this is where we can sort of give the opinions on the overall thing, is he thinks that there's no shot of something like a game today launching with just in-game chat, and that he's like, but he sees something like World of Warcraft Classic as like hope on the horizon of people wanting to go back to the old days. To which I would argue, I agree with his original idea that there's no shot of it ever happening again, is because no one, if a game launched today and was like, oh, by the way, there's no like party chat that you can use outside of this, like, it will disable your Xbox party chat or Discord, and you'll have to use an in-game chat. It's like, okay, well, people would sooner use the Nintendo method of using my phone as a separate chatting device while this game is playing than letting in-game chat take over. And for the second part, for the World of Warcraft thing, I think that part, the reason that people were going back to World of Warcraft Classic had nothing to do with not wanting matchmaking or a in-depth party system again. It was because they were tired of the direction of retail at the time and just wanted to have a real quick injection of nostalgia right into their veins of, I just want to go back to when I could just level something 1 to 60 and not have to worry about, you know, any of this other stuff. I just wanted to go back to the game that I remember. And it shows, because as soon as people got to that end game, they just immediately quit playing the game again, because they were like, oh yeah, there is nothing to do here. Like, I did it all. Like, I've got, which is fine, right? Like, there's nothing wrong, but it's just, it sucks. But in those early, like, you're never going to get those days back.
No.
Yeah. The only oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No,
I was going to say, the only instance I could see where there would be a true return to like 100% pure in-game chat, not going through, you know, party system either by Discord or mobile, and who's to say this is even going to happen? But I imagine at some point somebody's going to make the first VR MMO.
Sure.
And that'll probably be the time where everyone's going to do an in-game voice chat through your VR headsets.
Is that weird, like second kind of deal?
If that day comes,
fair point.
Don't know if that day is ever going to come, just with the way VR is these days. But that's the only scenario realistically where I will see that style return to form. Sure. Other than that, it's pretty much just going to be Discord or your Xbox party chat, PlayStation party chat.
And that's a fair point, I guess, because even right now, there's like some of those VR games just rely on proximity chat. Like you just are walking and do that as like the main method of communicating, and that's fair too, because there's not really a way for you to use a party chat system or a Discord while you're fully fucking strapped in.
Like
so,
you're that's
fair. Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah. And for better or for worse, because I especially in a VR sense, I feel like it'll get worse really quick.
It gets real weird real quick with that one, yeah.
Because you can physically interact. Well, not physically, you know what I mean, virtually interact with hey, I'm gonna get right in your face and just say the worst things into your ear.
Yeah, it'll be like that.
Close.
That Eric Andre bit of people locking arms around somebody and then going nightmare.
Okay, if I can do that with you in game
in VR,
and we'll do it around like AOL account or one of our other friends, just sign me up.
Yeah, I'm in there. It'll be funny too. That, or if we find a way to tell Preston to get in the game, and then all of a sudden we just transport him to the middle of the ocean. We're like, hey, look where we're at, man.
Hey, look where we're at, man. You see that fish? It wants to eat you.
Yeah.
That's when Preston breaks his own VR. Like, nope. Getting out of this nightmare real quick. It's really easy to do so.
No, that's actually a really fair point. I hadn't even considered, but you're right. I do agree with you. That is probably the only opportunity for it to come back.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I think people just want to chase that dragon for so long, but it's never gonna.
And I think where they're chasing that right now is like where I see it in the Twitch communities, as far as in the chat rooms in there. When you get to the big Twitch streamers, like you can get lost in the mix of those chats. But like if you're talking to someone who's a little bit of a smaller streamer, they're only getting in the tens, they're not getting into the hundreds of people. Like you go in there, you can have a conversation with them. Like there's that one Halo streamer I was following. She's from Australia, and then like I just. I usually watch her while I'm like working, but like there was one day I was off and I saw she was on, so I just put it in the chat and I was talking to a couple people in that chat, and it's a fun time. It was kind of like a little small community thing, but like we're not using voice chat, of course. But that is where I can see something of that kind of community can bloom, as far as if you are a lonely gamer, you could go on a Twitch and find yourself a community there with a game that you like, with people who are there for that kind of purpose. And if you're a lonely gamer out there, go to twitch.tv/testing.
I knew you were going to do this.
On Sunday mornings and Wednesdays, you can have a new friend.
gotta get the plug in.
We had a recurring guy who came in the other day. I call him Double D. I forget what his actual name is, but it's like two words that start with D. And he came back in like the second Sunday. I'm like, hey, what's up, Double D? And there's a whole community kind of thing going on there, so it's fun.
Yeah, for final thoughts then, I would say that I don't think modern gaming is more lonely. I think that it's in my experience, right? I think that it is easier today to find like-minded individuals, especially around a specific, as long as you are looking to play a specific game, right? Like if I'm looking, like I found a subreddit for an old arena mech fighter on the PS2 the other day that had like 400 people in it, and I was like, I can't believe that there are 400 people that also know about this video game, right? Like, so in that situation, like I think that it's never been easier to find somebody to want to play games with. But if you are the type of person that doesn't like to use Reddit, none of your friends are on Discord and you guys aren't playing games together, then I can see where you would say like, yeah, I'm playing Overwatch and nobody's talking and it sucks. Like I could totally see how somebody makes that gap, but in general, with all the tools that people have available, I just don't think I think gaming's more probably connected than it's ever been.
You have to not try. Like, yeah, you have to physically have to not go. You have to go out of your way to find those communities, but like it's not hard to do so. It's just Google search away. It's a Reddit search away from just finding a community of people who, if you don't like them, fuck them. There's the internet. There's plenty of other communities out there you can try to dabble into and jump into to see if they're more on your vibes as far as like how you want to play. Things.
Yeah, you can opt in whenever.
Opt in and opt out real fucking quick, especially when it comes to Discord like that. Just dropping in on those chats, no problem.
Yeah. But yeah, I would agree with, Christian. Very easy.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Anything else to add to the topic of loneliness? Christian, are you a lonely gamer? Are you doing all right over there?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
I know.
Me and my JRPGs, baby.
Me and my JRPGs, baby. All my Tails girls. Trial girls.
I am never lonely when I play with the testing room.
Yeah. Yeah, there's even a guy on one of the Sunday streams. He's like, "You guys got Discord?" I'm like, "I don't know if I want to start that can of worms just yet." Like, we have a Discord, but it's only for the people who come in and join and host the host with us. That's the only reason why I add people. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Box.
Well, I mean, it was the same guy who was like tossing me YouTube videos to look at. I'm like, I'm not doing this, man. This is not React Stream. I'm watching. I'm doing Snap. We're doing Snap.
No, for right now, people can hang out in the YouTube comments.
You hang out in YouTube comments. You can join me on Twitch. Like, there's a whole bunch of places you can join us at. We do not need a Discord for this. Half of our friends are already on Discord talking to me anyways. Or the listeners, for that matter. But yeah, that would be it. Unless anybody has anything else they want to add, anything else they want to talk about, now that you have your platform to talk on.
You know what I will say is, as far as matchmaking is concerned, I can't wait for Destiny to get matchmaking because
it's insane that they've gone through 2 generations of that game and still don't have it.
Because here's the thing, I get at first what they're saying is like, hey, some of this content is really hard and it is meant for people to sort of bang their head against. So it's better if you just get into a party with somebody and go do it, right? Like, I totally understand their point of view there, but I'm like, let that be up to me though. Like, if I want to bang my head with randos at a Nightfall strike, then just let me do it. I can do it. It's okay. Like, I've done it I've done it in 14 long enough. I'll get there. It might take me a little extra tries, but I can do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the whole matchmaking thing for higher end content in that community there's a lot of nuances to that conversation. That I don't feel like getting into today.
No, right, which is fair.
But yeah, no, I mean, I definitely can't wait for that in-game LFG to show up.
It'll be cool.
It's not. I'm not gonna probably need it because I play with
your group.
A bunch of people that I regularly play with. So, but it'll be good for people who are. I was just gonna say it's gonna be good for people who are like, say like I'm not around to play, or like it's like you guys, and it's like, okay, we want to do like one of these new dungeons or what, or like you want to do like one of the raids that you guys only done like maybe like what 3 of the D2 raids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And sometimes I can't muster my guys. It's just one of those things. Like, okay, we can probably pull from the community. But of course,
and that's what I was gonna say is that the only time that the only time that I would ever want it is whenever you're not on or not available, because otherwise, like with this new, it's like as soon as new stuff comes out, I'm like, all right, dude, when are we going through it? Like, choose way easy, because you have a whole army behind you of people that are ready to hop in and do this thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that let me know whenever you guys want to do the most recent raid.
I think I still have it downloaded, so I can be down as long as I don't have to do a whole bunch of grinding beforehand. I'm good.
Yep. Well, we got to do it before Final Fantasy 16 comes out, because after that you won't see.
I mean, I'm doing Fire Emblem. I got Street Fighter on Friday. I got Diablo on Tuesday. Man, you let me know when you want me to jump in. I will pop that bad boy back on my fucking home screen, but I can't promise you I'm going to grind.
Let's wait till Alex gets back from Japan.
And we'll see if we have time to do
Also, okay, real quick about the grind, though. They did not up our level this season.
True.
So if you hit the cap from last season, you're going to be good, I think, till forever. because I think they're going to finally doing away with the power system. I can't confirm that. Obviously, they're keeping a lot of stuff close to their chest there, but it sounds like they're finally doing away with that power system.
Good idea.
That antiquated one from D1 where just like the number keeps going up and then you have to keep grinding to get back to the level you were at. So
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll be interested to see what they do. You have in that rumor, I mean, we don't have to, but is there a is there a rumor of what they're going to replace it with?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, because most games like that now do eye level, right? Which is sort of the same thing as power level, except it's way more forgiving. It's just like, you know, like for Final Fantasy, for example, only the most super high-end content will usually have a eye level power limit or like power minimum, but then it's like, as long as you're within like a certain amount, we'll just kick you up to whatever it's supposed to be. Like if you're in a part, like you'll just get kicked up, it's fine. Now you obviously not with like level 1 gear, but as long as you're close enough, you'll get synced up or synced down to whatever you're supposed to be. So it ends up working super easily. Like, and then what they'll do is by the time an expansion hits, they're just like, hey, the first gear that you get out of the gate is going to be whatever the new like that thing is. So
whatever the new floor is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since we are all finished up here, unless anybody else has anything to add, we will close it up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Zach, for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. I know you mentioned and I know you mentioned at the wedding. Like, you're like, hey, if you guys ever want somebody to host on there, I'll come on. I'm like, okay, sure. And
I'll just be a guest, you know.
Yeah.
I'm fine with being a guest.
Come and hang out.
Nothing permanent.
Come and hang out.
Alex, your job is safe. If you're listening to this, Alex, your job is safe.
Oh, I'm not going to put permanence on anybody's. Yeah, I would never do that to anybody else. We locked these two guys in there. I'm like, and me, that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Well, you guys, Alex will give you some more of the social plugs, but feel free to follow us. You'll see them down here. It'll be youtube.com/@thetestingroom. And then you'll have twitch.tv/testingroompod. And that's where you'll find us on our streamings, and you'll find a lot of fun stuff there. We put the video versions of all of this. I had a lot of fun with the collection we did last week with Jake. I put all these little collections around our border and everything like that. It was a lot of fun. Put old commercials. There was a Kirby Suit All-Star commercial I saw where there was like some kid who was just like, it was like the Willy Wonka kind of thing, to where he's like inflated, but instead of purple, he was pink. And it was a lot of fun to find those.
You put so much work into that video. It turned out really well.
Spent a day, but yeah, it's fun. Check it out. Yeah. youtube.com/@testingroom. At the testing room. But yeah, other than that, Preston, you know what to do. Hit it. Almost forgot to say that. Yeah.
This has been The Testing Room. Music by @DamienCrow on Instagram, logo and art by @RavePet. Interact with us on Instagram and Twitter @TestingRoomPod, or email us at testingroompod@gmail.com. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and all of your favorite podcasting apps, and make sure to share us with your friends. Thanks, and see you next time.